Showtime. It is go time once again. I am the commish Josh, and with me today is kind of a Showtime legend, Tyler Bailey. What's going on, brother?
Hey, same old man, just hanging in there and living life.
Yeah, living life. And right now, did you notch your first win just this past week? Is that right?
Did. Yeah,
So,
this last week I did win.
so were you kind of like getting a little nervous, like this might be a bad season if you didn't win?
So yeah, definitely took quite a few gainers in my lineup during the first two losses and was trying to figure out why the pieces I had definitely was not working.
Yeah. So did you make a trade with PJ? Is that right? Just recently?
Yeah, me and PJ made a pretty big franchise trade for a good portion of our teams together.
And you acquired. Walk me through who you acquired and kind of. I guess. And after that, maybe walk me through your opinion on trading in the Showtime League because I think that's. I feel like sometimes trading people are always trying to like. I don't want to say screw the other guy over, but it's not always. It's not always an even thing. But you guys, it seemed like a fair trade.
Well, you never want to put in a trade where you're looking at it and you yourself are not happy with the trade.
Yeah.
You don't want to think after the trade, oh, I just helped my opponent and didn't help myself at all.
Right. Right.
And so obviously that's a big part in when me and PJ made the trade. And like I know he said it a few times in the chat itself, we went back and forth for a good 5 to 6 hours that day, just going back and forth with offers for each other to try and pinpoint exactly to make it work for each of us.
Yeah. Yeah. And right now you're sitting there, you're actually got a pretty solid team and still very early in the season. Now the league as a whole, obviously you've got the busted knuckles. They're our only undefeated team. Obviously, the big surprise to me is Greg Buddy. He's actually leading the West Division, and he's one of our highest scoring. I'm looking here. He's the second highest scoring player. Greg Buddy is, and that's kind of coming out of nowhere. I thought.
Yeah, I mean, he had a lot of honestly, I wouldn't want to say sleeper picks because it was not necessarily late round, but like a lot of people did not expect like Mike Williams to be the number two position wide receiver right now at this moment.
Mm.
Like obviously with all the weapons Justin Herbert has, he no one expected him to be the number
Yeah.
two receiver in the league.
Yeah. That is
You know, he's
wild.
got he's got Derrick Henry, which obviously every time you see Derrick Henry, you already know he's gonna be a freight train.
Yeah. No, it is that is kind of a team that seems to be I don't know if they're overachieving or what they're doing, but they're impressing. So let's talk about the elephant in the room. There's two teams with zero wins right now. The B235 Bulldogs and the Colon Crushers. Which team gets a win first?
That's a hard one, man, because as much as Kruger sticks to his guns and doesn't really, I don't know if he necessarily participates in trades or he's not active enough to participate in trades. Looking at his lineup, it's actually not a bad lineup though for Kruger. He's got Waller, one of the top tight ends. He's got Diggs, if Barkley can stay healthy. But
Yeah,
PJ's been a lot of moves recently. PJ's been making a lot of moves and trades.
yeah, he has. He has. Do you think PJ? Do you think PJ can make the playoffs?
It really just comes down to all these gambles he's making with trades because obviously, as we've discussed before, people aren't trading these players away thinking that they're producing for their team.
Right, right.
And so it's really just a matter of can all these trades and all these movements that he's putting through actually produce for his team with points.
Yeah, yeah. And at some point, PJ's 0-3. At some point, you've got to win to like make the playoffs, and he's gonna have to win soon, I think, to give himself a little bit of margin for error, especially later in the season.
0-3 is not a good start. I know people say it's still early, but three losses is still three losses.
Yeah, yeah. He's gonna have to turn the corner quick. Um, What do you think? What do you think about Keevan's season? He's made some moves as well. What do you think about? Let's get the elephant in the room here. PJ's talking about this Josh Jacobs trade. What do you think about that trade? And what do you think about Keevan now with the roster he's kind of built?
I mean, I've always kind of viewed Kevin as at least a semi fantasy football contender in all around formats. But as PJ brought up this year, PJ tends to kind of lean on the fact that Kevin reached with a lot of his running back picks this
Yeah,
year.
yeah,
I halfway agree with him. He hasn't got a lot of production out of a lot of the running backs he's gained. I know he's been boasting about the Zeke thing, but Tony Pollard has been looking a lot better this year, and so
Yeah,
Zeke really could be in danger of losing.
some carries.
Definitely losing carries. And we all know the Edwards Hilaire story. Kansas City's not been looking like Kansas City this year, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't think they're going to give Edwards Hilaire the ball more to win. It's probably going to go in their $500 million quarterback's hand first.
Right,
So,
right. Their franchise star.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Still very early in the season. Um, Obviously, you look at Tom Conway. His team is another one that we got to talk about. He started off so hot, and I kind of I kind of feel bad for him. But now Christian McCaffrey's hurt. What do you think about Tom? Without Christian McCaffrey, that team looks a lot less appealing.
It definitely looks a lot less intimidating on paper with Christian McCaffrey on the bench with a big old red O next to his name.
It's bad, yeah. It
But you almost with the past couple of years, you almost have to expect drafting McCaffrey, especially first round, if I recall. You almost have to expect him to miss a couple games with his past few seasons' history. He misses a couple games per season.
It's yeah, it's a you just gotta hope he misses it early in the year and then you make the playoffs and he's there for the playoffs. So maybe Tom will be kind of survive the storm and get ready for playoff time. Um,
It really just depends on return time for McCaffrey. That is Tom's team right now.
he needs to change his team name to the Coons like McCaffreys or whatever. I mean, it's um, we got some new guys. Chris Howard, John Garcia is I think is his name. What do you think about the newbies? Just anything in general. I seen John yipping in chat sometimes.
I definitely noticed one of them definitely is active in chat, which obviously, you always got to appreciate bringing new people in. I've definitely in the past bringing new people in. We've had them not even set in lineups. So participating in
It's
chat
bad.
is definitely a good step in the direction that we need.
Yeah.
They're both off to a 2-1 start, so you can't really complain as a newbie in our league. You can't really complain with a 2-1 start. I see Chris does have a lower points for than the generalization of people who are 2-1 or have a winning record.
Yes, yes. So now I'm gonna ask you a few questions here and just rapid fire. First, maybe first sentence or first phrase that comes to your mind. Um, and us just play that game. So Patrick Compton,
Veteran.
um, the Rudy Trophy.
I actually do like the color scheme of it. It was kind of a surprise to me. I had no forthcoming of it before seeing it this year.
It's a nice trophy.
Interesting. It is a nice
Now
trophy.
I don't like the name though. I think that's the dumbest name of. We need to.
I think the name can still be played with throughout the years,
Yeah.
but the physical trophy itself I like.
Yeah.
Definitely the name could use some work.
Yeah, I've said this. I don't know if you listen to the other podcasts, but I'm putting it out there. If Compton wins the fourth one, it needs to be the Patrick Compton Trophy, like the Vince Lombardi Trophy. I don't know. I just think it'd be cool.
No, it, four is. I mean, he would at that point have a great margin on championship, so you got
Yeah,
to do something at that point.
yeah, and yeah, it'd be cool. It'd be cool. Do you have any bold predictions for your season or anybody like, hey, so and so is gonna make the playoffs, so and so is gonna make the championship, or so and so is gonna miss?
So, as much as it's gonna kill them when they listen to this, I don't see Kevin making it to playoffs this year.
Oh!
I don't see it happening. He had a good strategy for his draft. It's just all the players he picked up are not producing, and he's almost. I haven't put an offer in him and like did trade talks with him, but if he still has them, I almost guarantee he's valuing the players he has that aren't producing too high.
Yeah, yeah. He made me some offers that I felt. He obviously you try helping yourself in trades, but some of the offers
Right.
that he sent me were some pretty interesting offers that I was like,
No,
okay,
you definitely have to make it make sense on both sides.
yeah, yeah. It was a unique offer, I thought, okay. So you're saying Keevan's gonna miss? Is there anybody who might look average right now that you're like, okay, maybe this guy come playoff time, maybe his team might kind of come together, or are you not sure?
I feel like they're if I know we just talked about it, but if McCaffrey can come back and this is only a short-term thing and he stay healthy the rest of the year, McCaffrey could potentially, with the combo of McCaffrey and Murray, could
That could,
potentially carry Tom to the championship.
that could you hit the nail on the head there. When you have a quarterback with scrambling abilities and he can at any point drop 30 points a game with Christian McCaffrey. I mean, between the two
Definitely.
guys, that's 60, 70 points you could have between two
Oh,
guys.
definitely.
So that's a good point. So, okay. Well, that's all I have are around 12, 13 minutes around the same time as we were with the Compton podcast. Is there anything that's on your chest or on your mind that you would like to kind of put out there to the league?
Uh, for everyone in the league, I'd like to just point out every time a trade is made, there's not always scheming behind it. Sometimes people just send offers to see who they can get, and if it gets accepted, it get accepted.
Yeah.
So I feel like there should be just less drama around the whole trade scheming thing. I
Yeah.
do understand once a trade looks too far out of advantage for someone, then it's time to start asking questions.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point. I think we added a rule in this year that was for the first season of newbies, you can't trade with the family. So like if I added my brother in, I shouldn't be allowed to trade with my
Right.
brother for the first season until he earns
And
his
no,
stripes.
I do definitely to an extent agree with that.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll see. I agreed. I agree with that statement. So, all right, guys, that was Tyler. He's winning right now. His goal is to win the championship, and one of the Showtime League legends, Tyler Bailey. Everybody.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
All right, buddy. Thank you.